Hello, I'm Steve Monkey Mason, and welcome back to It's Just a Podcast, along with Paul Ray, the movie rant guy, figure guy, whatever he wants to call himself these days, Slim Shady, and also Lou will call himself. Matt Davies has been booted out of the group because Matt Davies has not seen this movie. He was meant to join us for his second podcast, but he hasn't even got speed. So after 2 attempts, we just went, right, we're doing Predator because that's what we're hyped up to do. So this is going to be the podcast for The Predator, the new Predator. Okay, The Predator. We'll talk about that. We're on 20th Century Fox. Are you guys ready to roll?
Ready to roll.
So 3, 2, 1. Right, I just want to give a shout out to Mr. Jack. Obviously, me and Jack started our podcast. The first ever podcast was for Predator, along with Predator 2 and then Predator 3. Unfortunately, Jack now lives about 50 miles away from us. Jack refuses to be on this podcast because he does not like this movie. So there we go. Been on the back burner for a while, this one. So yeah, there's a lot of...
I'm going to say this is probably going to be the one podcast where the term "it's just a movie" is going to be so overused, it's going to be ridiculous.
Well, the thing is, guys, it's like, I mean, this starts like the original. You guys obviously got a lot of love for Predator, and I thought that would be really cool if you guys join me on this as well, because you can actually talk about all the Predators here and the mythology. Because I think, like everybody, we were expecting so much more from this movie. And don't get me wrong, it's visually stunning. But I think it just, when it finishes, you just get left with a sour taste in your mouth.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like when you first hear on like the internet, like, oh, don't worry guys, it's all sorted because, you know, Black's coming back. He's gonna start a new breath of fresh air with the Predator, and you kind of think, well, yeah, perfect. The guy who started it all, he's the best person at the helm. But what just seems to happen is he just kind of follows suit with every other major blockbuster. Even now with this space scene, I mean, it doesn't look real. It just looks so clean CGI that it just. This is not for me a Predator film. I love Predator because it was a dude in a suit and you never saw him. He was creepy.
Yeah, I mean, it's straight in there. It's got the original score going down, but obviously Shane Black's went off to do a lot of movies, and this is pretty much what he just did after Iron Man 3, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's a big shot. He's direct. I mean, obviously for years, Lethal Weapon, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, you know, his stuff and work's been very priority when it comes to writing, and he's really established himself as a director. And I mean, you can't really knock at his filmmaking. I just think it's just messy, you know.
I think the biggest problem with this film is the editing. I think this is so badly edited. I mean, I'm not one of those who really pays that much attention to editing, or at least I don't notice it unless it's noticeable. And I feel like this one, so this whole film, it just doesn't know what it wants to be. It doesn't know where it wants to be.
And why do they call it the Predator? I mean, it's easier to just call it Predator 4.
That's the main problem. I mean, the original movie's called The Predator, but if you ask people, they call it The Predator. And of course, if you talk about alphabetization, that's the word, the doesn't count. So you've got two movies called The Predator back to back. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, is it a remake?
I thought like the first one was just called Predator.
It is?
Not The Predator.
But it's like But it's like The Thing and The Thing, you know what I mean? It's like, right, it's not a reboot, it's not a remake. You know, like, call it another name. Do you know what I mean?
But it does lead to confusion, because Mason, if you remember, going back many months ago when you suggested we do The Predator, you know, I was totally like, you remember, I went on like about a 5-minute like hyper.
Oh, you did, off camera, aye.
The Predator, I can't wait to do that, and then I'm talking about this film, and then like right at the very end, Mason's like, you do realise I'm talking about the modern one. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. So it can be very misleading.
Well, that's it. I mean, sorry, Paul, go ahead.
A few weeks ago I watched Predators, and I really enjoyed that one. I mean, just like a standalone film. But then, like I said, this one here, it's a bit, like I said, a bit sloppy, a bit all over the place. And this is the second time I've actually watched this film.
Yeah. I mean, I went to the pictures to see this in 4DX. It's the only film I've ever seen in 4DX. There was me and Britt. It was a very early on date. There was 2 other people at that pictures, so there was fucking no one there. Opening weekend, And I like what a cinematic experience it was. You know, the lights, the flashing, the chairs, the sprayers, the wind. You know what I mean. So as a film, I came out there, I was like, "Fucking hell!" Like, what about the ending? Like, fuck, what's going on there? But visually, it was an experience. But then when I've revisited it, and you look at like Predator 2 is a massive underrated sequel. Predators is underrated as well because like everyone thought they were going to get loads of Predators going ape shit, and I liked that what Robert Rodriguez did with that.
Yeah.
But then we had Alien vs Predator and Predator Requiem all fucking muddled up, and then we get this, and it's kind of like they had an absolute mint opportunity. Again, the ending setting up they could have done a sequel straight away. I don't know. I just sort of. I think over time I might enjoy it a bit more, but
Yeah, I mean, you say that everyone was expecting a bunch of Predators in the Predators.
It's a trailer. It's a misleading trailer.
I'm going to say that it's a solid reason why we thought that. It misled you. It totally lied to you by saying, look at this mint scene, and it didn't exist. I mean, I get that people are going to use footage from stuff that isn't going to be in the film.
Yeah.
But there's no place on earth where someone didn't put that scene in thinking, oh, that's going to get people at the cinema. You know, even though they knew fine well that it was never going to get used. I think that's what left a bad taste in my mouth. I didn't mind it. I thought it was a good film. I would say it's a really good sci-fi film that happened to have a Predator in it.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But I still have some love for it because it is what it is. But, you know, I mean, now, we're looking at a scene where they just put the gauntlet on. I'm going to call it a gauntlet. It's going for that original Predator feel. You know, especially like the beginning bit where you met up with the soldiers, there was flames in the woods, and now they're looking in the trees and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
You try to go back, there we go, the body hanging upside down, but you know, it doesn't kind of. I don't know what you do, but it doesn't resonate. You know, it's trying to use the same kind of
too quick.
A little bit too quick, yeah. Exactly. Like I say, it's putting a shiver in your face. I mean,
when you got a body hanging.
I'd like to do a count. I'd like to do a minute count and see how long we watched Predator for before we actually see a Predator in the original one.
Oh, it's a good while. I mean, you briefly see him in the trees, but it's not until he's been hitting the leg and he's sitting there on top of the branch, and it's like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be at least 30 minutes in the movie. Now, again, though, some of this is pretty cool. Again, the technology is there, but the lead actor they've chosen obviously looks like Devon Sawyer. I do love the blood dripping on the Predator's face here. I think this is a very good striking visual, especially with the eyes. And like the opening scene, we're getting the gore, because you got to remember, Alien vs Predator was originally a fucking 12A.
True. Yeah.
That bit there, that's really creepy. But again, it's all CGI. You know, it's like Stan Winston's design. It's like a real face. But again, the actor, I mean, I've not seen him in anything else. And like, do you look at it and go, do they chuck loads of money at Jason Statham to be in this? Do you know what I mean? No, but like I'm saying, like casting somebody to be like, you know what I mean? To sort of like you had Arnold Schwarzenegger, you had Danny Glover, and Danny Glover was the right choice for the time, coming off the back end of Lethal Weapons and playing the cop so solid. Then you had Adrian Brody, who's Academy Award winning actor, so everyone's like, what the fuck?
Which is weird.
But again, it's because his character is a ruthless killer. He doesn't have to be a fucking Hulk Hogan. And then with this guy, it's kind of like, right, they've just got somebody completely unknown.
Yeah. I think
I'm actually... Sorry, go for it.
With Thomas Jane. I love anything with Thomas Jane, and it just doesn't get enough screen time these days. But him being in it, I was like, oh, cool. That's a good thing I like in it. There's Thomas Jane in it.
Again, I mean, every Predator film has great cast. Everyone. But like I was saying, I mean, there's nothing wrong with giving... I mean, this guy looks like... Orlando Jones, you know, from, you know, there's like, again, it's a South American, but again, it's more like, again, an antagonist. I mean, the biggest letdown here as well, I mean, it's a great nod having Jake Busey in it, but to have him almost like, not even like, it's just a glorified cameo, isn't it?
That's it. Well, I'm looking at the main guy, and, I mean, literally, he plays the kind of, he's almost like the third bad guy in Logan, which wasn't a bad role for him, but he didn't really showcase much. A few years before that, he did Gone Girl, which is an excellent film.
Oh yeah,
I
that
love
is really good.
film, and I don't particularly remember him much in there, so I don't think like he made much of a mark there. But to be honest with you, after that, I mean, he's done a couple of things, but to me, I mean, the Nothing film. You know, there's a short film he did called Time of Day. He did something called 2 and 1, In the Shadow of the Moon, and then he's pretty much looks like he's a main role in the Fugitive TV series, which I didn't even know the Fugitive had a TV series.
Yeah. It has. I think it's maybe he's had two. I mean, don't get us wrong. I'm not criticising him as an actor. I do like. I mean, again, he looks too much like Devon Sawyer. Like really scary. Like if you like, oh, it's Devon Sawyer from Isle Hands. It's not. But I'm just saying, like, I just think they should have got a major actor to be in it as a brand.
Yeah.
And I mean, this kid as well. This kid's been in loads. He's in the new film. Is it the Good Kids?
Oh yes, he did that. I never saw it, but I know what you're on about. Yeah.
And he's in something else. He's in something else recently.
That bloody thing. I can't take 2 tablets without choking on them.
He didn't Doctor Sleep as well.
That's the one I was about. He gets killed by the people, doesn't he?
Aye, yeah.
So he's doing really well as an actor, like so.
Well, he got the role of Flounder in The Little Mermaid coming up. He's done 2 episodes at least of the Harley Quinn animated series. And then there's a couple of other things he's got in production and post-production shots. But he's got a good record so far, right?
But going back to this, though, you're 20 minutes. You're 20 minutes. Oh, sorry, Paul. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm just going to say you're 20 minutes into the movie, and like you're going in this Predator movie, you don't expect to be in a school.
Yeah, I see that.
Sorry.
Well, this feels like Alien vs Predator. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, we've had that. Yeah. Like we had Pyramids in Alien vs Predator. I mean, don't get us wrong, Alien vs Predator. I think if Anderson had as much freedom as he wanted, it might have been a bit different. But Requiem, we got what we always thought we wanted with aliens and predators in your fucking neighborhood. And again, it's kind of like, I don't know. I just don't. Again, from landing the plane and all that, it's just too much of a coincidence, man.
I might get a lot of heat from this, like, but again, I don't understand why, you know, if a child is in this film, I mean, it almost feels like it's an agenda that he has to have something wrong with him. You know, like they're clearly making out that, you know, him being, I don't know, I can't remember what he is now. Is it autism? Is it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
so it just feels like it's a little bit of a political statement, you know, like, oh, kids who have got issues can be heroes too. And I'm not at all putting down that kids with issues can't be main role characters and stuff like that. But when you think of this film, to me, it doesn't feel like it fits.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you're coming to see a Predator movie. You're coming to see military. Yeah. Like, eventually, you're thinking that we might going to get the army versus a Predator. Do you know what I mean? Like a full on, like, or like even if it was the Predator in a fucking. Who's beeping?
It said reconnecting with Paul, but only lasted a second. He's still up, Paul.
Paul.
Alright. It just came up on your screen there, because I haven't seen your phone screen, that's all. So it just came up on your picture reconnecting, so it must be a bit funny.
It is a bit funny, yeah. That's why I'm trying to get word to say things now and then, but I'll just keep going.
Now, wasn't it a bit controversial here? Isn't there a scene cut of somebody who was a registered sex offender?
Yeah, I read it. I actually read it about half an hour ago, funny enough. So apparently, the bloke who they'd hired is actually Shane Black's mate. But, so basically he jogs past her and makes some sort of, sexist remark or whatever. And then, of course, she disgusted and crosses the road. But apparently the bloke who was obviously the character is in fact a sexual offender for trying to approach a 14-year-old. But Shane Black did kind of try and defend it by saying that his friend didn't exactly disclose what the offence was. So I think it's kind of a little bit of backpedaling, thinking, I didn't realise people would kind of figure that out, or whether they really notice. But clearly that's a big thing that left a bit of a mark on the cast. I think it left a lot of people in a bit of a a negative space, thinking, oh, he's bringing his mate in to play a role who was clearly a known sex offender.
To be honest with you, he's not stupid, the director. So I mean, again, it's just it might have been blown out of proportion a bit, but I do remember that specific scene because it is quite abrupt. But obviously, there was a bit cut out of it, you know.
I think it comes down to the fact that it's kind of one of those things where it's like what's going to get out and what's not. I mean, it's a 2-second throwaway scene. Whether or not you actually thought people would pay that much attention or even recognise it,
I mean,
is one thing, but.
If you watch this against, say for example you missed out Predators, right? Just for example you missed Predators out. And you watched, and say for example you didn't, say for example someone was 19 now or 16 or whatever, had never seen Predators, and they watch this, and then they watch Predator 2, just by, sheer, not knowing, right? Fuck me, Predator 2 is uber violent compared to this.
This is almost a family film at this stage. I mean, like I say, we've had the kid, we've had Halloween mass conversation, a bit of bullying. I mean, to be honest with you, it's taken a massive turn considering how the film started.
See, the artwork as well.
Shifted.
The artwork was very clever because originally we got a lightning rod and the fucking Predator's head over a town, so we're like, ooh. And then we got the very bizarre, bright, luminous orange Predator hand holding a Predator head, which is become the artwork. The steelbook is Skull and Bones mashup, which again though, I mean, I'll talk about Zavi. I quite like. I'm happy to have the original Predator soundtrack now, but Zavi had a nice little clear out on the Predator vinyl, green vinyl. It took nearly 5 weeks to get here. When it came here, it was the wrong edition. It didn't have the download code. The customer service from Zavi is absolutely appalling. Half the time, Matt or Tim or Sarah, whatever you want to call them, are just robotic responses. No, hang on, this is not what you advertised. And I ended up getting this vinyl free, completely free, in £10 credit. But I was that pissed off with Zavi that I closed my account and left the £10. I was like, no, I'll keep the vinyl, but go fuck yourselves. Your customer service is fucking shit, right? But again, with the movie group and everyone, hello Big Dave, Casper, Carl, don't forget about Casper, Hurricane Rain, everyone on the group, Matt Davis, yes, we haven't forgot about you. You look at the Predator Steelbook, they were trying to give that away as an incentive, weren't they? In a mystery box. Yeah. Buy a mystery box, like a Zavi box, a Z box, whatever you want to call them, and get the Predator Steelbook free. So that's how much this film had a bit of a whoa. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. But I mean, it's again, it's what it's trying to be. You know what I mean? It's just like I don't get what the film's aiming for. At least with I don't know, with 80s films, it's almost like I don't want to downgrade them, but sometimes it was just dumb action film.
Oh I mean that's all the first one was. John McTiernan, man. John McTiernan's a fucking amazing director. Half the time you can't remember whatever he made. You know what I mean? I mean, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's greased up, it's balls to the wall, jungle fucking. You don't know what the fuck's going on. Especially back in the day. Because you would have just went to see an Arnold Schwarzenegger film. You wouldn't know what the Predator fucking looks like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And then the second one comes along and we get Danny Glover again, but we get it in the city, which was obviously the next logical step to take. And it's like RoboCop. It's fucking super violent. We then don't have anything for years, and then we get the sequel. The original finally deserves as a tagline. Like, what the fuck? Did you not watch the second one? And then we obviously get it all on we get it all on the planet, and we get Danny Trejo in there, and we get Waldo Woggins, and there's some good characters. And then you just kind of think where they could take it. And this one obviously tries to pay homage, but then tries to take it in about 8 different directions on a roundabout. Do you know what I mean? It's not like... Do you know what I mean?
You try to tick too many boxes.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But even now, looking on the bus, I mean, I can at least say, there's 3 or 4 actors on that bus right now. They're all really, really good actors.
Oh yeah.
My issue is that they don't... yes, it's generally trying to create a misfit group of people that shouldn't belong together. But when that happens, you still have a common connection, and that's what makes a misfit group quite good, because they're all misfit together. all I'm seeing here is 6 or 7 individual characters doing their own thing. You know, I mean, even now when you look at what do you call him, Keegan K, you know, Keegan K. That's what I think that's what he's called. But he's funny, but it's like he's on a stage on his own, and like now you're getting this guy doing magic tricks. You know, it's just like it feels like they're all trying to showcase each other individually, and it just doesn't feel. I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. Like
he totally looks like Will Wheaton in the background.
You've only seen this once, so what do you remember about it, Paul? In terms of
sometimes the CGI bit of to be honest, once you start putting families and kids into it, it feels I'm watching like a family film, like I said before. I mean, if it didn't have that in there, then you could do a bit more ultra-violent and stuff like that, but yeah, like I said, I'm watching this like for the second time ever. A bit more notice to it, but I'm just listening to what you guys are saying, I'm just totally agreeing.
There's one thing I want to say as well. In the original, when it starts rocking and rolling straight away, you don't know who they are. They're a squad. And like you don't know the backstories, you don't know anything like that. You can see you've got Billy, you've got all them kind of characters. That scene right there is trying to introduce these characters in a more verbal way rather than a physical way, because obviously one of the first scenes you get is when they take out that fucking village and you see they're all strengths, they're fucking just badasses. But it doesn't exactly set up how they're going to die. And like that scene right there is showing people's flaws and like kind of like, I mean, the guy, doesn't one of them guys sacrifice himself by jumping in one of the turbines later on and stuff like that, and like coming full circle. But like in the original, you didn't know who was going to die next, and like the shock and reveal that it's kind of like setting them up, like the chummy friends, how they're going to kill themselves off. It's almost like this is how they're going to die, and make sure you get some of it in earlier on and like flush it out a bit so you maybe feel for anything rather than not knowing the character stories. Are you trying to talk there, Paul?
It sounded like it. That's why I went quiet.
Yeah, just give up.
What's it
Pretty good is that obviously.
Go for it.
No, don't.
Alright, Paul?
I totally agree, Paul. Absolutely.
I'm not even going to argue anymore now. Just go on, I'll squeeze them when I can.
So he comes in like he comes another like twist on it. Do you know what I mean?
What's he been in?
Gary Busey. It's Jake Busey's son.
No, that's Gary Busey's son, is it?
Aye. It's in Starship Troopers and stuff.
Starship Troopers, that's the one. Aye.
Now again though, one of the other ideas was obviously Predator 2 leaves it open with that fucking gun, and like obviously it didn't really go anywhere, but obviously it sets up that the Predators have been in the past. Now a big little sensation on YouTube is Predator Dark Ages. What would wrong with the Predator turning up in medieval times? Do you know what I mean? Or Egypt?
See, that screams out film that. But then what bugs me, like what you've just said about the even in the backs here, you know, the film was directed and co-written by Shane Black as a sequel to Predator 2 and the Predator. Shane Black played Hawking in the original. All that is kind of showcasing that Shane Black's been in the DNA since day one. Now, I don't particularly agree that we should focus too much on flashbacks and all of that, but why is there no mention whatsoever of Danny Glover's character and the gun? You know what I mean? That seems like it would be, I mean, if you know, sure you can't go back with the Predators because that's on a different planet. You know what I mean? It makes no sense.
No, that makes no sense. Yeah.
But being here, you would think, because obviously they're researching it, they clearly know. I mean, we know from the first one that the government will find out from what Arnie talks about. I think he did mention something about, like, Arnie going back to society and trying to tell people about it, and obviously didn't go well. But that's like a throwaway idea. We don't know what really could have possibly happened. But these guys should definitely have a mention, even if I have the gun, or this old cop who's died now had this gun which we feel is connected to this race. You know, it's such an easy kind of plot connection, and I would have felt more invested if I felt like I was watching a sequel to the original film. But again, he's standing out.
I looked at the tablet, yes, but I just looked at the tablet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much obviously a scene from Predator 2 there, wasn't there? Where he's on the building.
Oh, sorry, I was too busy ranting.
Aye. There's a scene there from Predator 2.
Literally ranting about no connection to the next one. My bad.
Yeah, hello.
But again, here's a shitload. I mean, that's a fucking still from the original movie. That head turn. It's when he looks at Arnold Schwarzenegger and he can't work out if he's mud or shit. But like, he's more characters. So there's a lot of setup going on.
But I question this last now, to be honest with you, because Olivia Munn, which obviously I've seen her in the show within X-Men Apocalypse. Sadly, they literally used her in X-Men Apocalypse as a sex symbol. She wore the Skippy's outfit and didn't portray the character, which the character is quite a well-known character in the comic universe. So, like, to be honest with you, I'm still not sure whether she's not performing well for me in this because she's a bad actress, or whether she just hasn't gotten the right project, because I don't feel like I've seen her.
Sexist.
Oh, I could be just sexist, exactly. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is just the way of the world. But little back known, I will derail from that conversation, is apparently, I didn't know Shane Black had Tourette's, and apparently he gave Thomas Jane's character Tourette's as a kind of a margin to him. Yeah, which, you know, it's a positive thing, I think.
You're gonna say, we're slagging this film off, but then the effects aren't too bad, you know, like the space effects aren't too bad, but like I said, once you start putting kids and families into it, it feels like it's a family film, because it's not done to a PG, so what it's done.
Yeah. Now, this is something else, another fact I think it's worth mentioning, because again, I know I've done a big rant, you know, on them not showcasing the sequels and the past films enough, which this still kind of proved my point, because I find it quite interesting. Although no mention made in the movie, the character Keys, played by Jake Busey, is the son of Peter Keys, the government official from Predator 2, who died during the hunt of the Predator. Peter Keys, played by Gary Busey, which is also his father. So again, you know, why would you, I mean, are you trying to go for subtlety? Did you not want to hammer away at the originals? Because it seemed like it could be a lot of potential connection that they just haven't even made a slight attempt on. And I get that. I don't want to be hammered over the head with constant references of the last film. I want it to stand on its own 2 feet, but at the same time, if you're going to literally put in a character with the same surname, it just seems lazy. Not
but he goes again, though. Obviously, I quite enjoyed the idea that there was 2 races of Predators and you had that new design, and but again, this is like another new Predator, and it's almost like a giant Predator. It's you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
For me, obviously, like Nick had to do the figures. There's like 1 million Predator figures for me. It's like the first Predator film with that Predator, and that was the ultimate Predator for me. I mean, compared to the super massive one.
But why bother going there big on another Predator? Because again, if you think about it, we had the Pred Alien, or whatever you want to call it. We didn't need a new Predator in this movie. We needed the original Predator back, and for it to be a force of fucking nature. That's what we actually needed.
Well, that's it, because the facts are showing we haven't actually got a lot of information on this race. You look at all the film combined together, we still know nothing about this race.
Well, they're called...
just come up with another one, you know what I mean?
They've actually got a name, and it begins with K, and it's got like a J and A on the end of it.
But is that information you're getting from the film?
No,
it's... Obviously, the internet, comics and stuff like
it's from the comics, yeah.
The world of it. Yeah, but on film, I mean, there's just like, they could have come up with another Predator, and just said, this guy is another Predator. Why did it have to be a hybrid? Why did it have to be like... I don't know.
When you watch the Alien films, it explains how they're made, how they grow, how they die. I mean, that's it in the lifeline, but obviously Predator, you don't know much about, but from goes around people for...
I know, but like, is there like, there's got to be a female Predator. I mean, that could have been something they could have explored, you know what I mean?
Big massive queen like aliens.
But then I also agree that, although I wouldn't be one of them, and I know you two probably wouldn't be one of them, but I feel like if I'm in a room and someone suggests us do a Predator film with a female Predator, although we can all agree that that would make sense if it was done right, but you know, marketing-wise, you're going to get a lot of people go, oh, here we go again, 2020. We're now making a female version of the Predator just to be like inclusive and make sure that everyone's a part of it. I mean, I'm sorry, they haven't come up with the fact that like there's a reason why there's no female predators because they're all gay. You know what I mean? That could be a theory. You know what I mean? So it's like, I can see why that might be a conversation, but then again, it's all about your delivery. If you don't deliver it well, then it's just going to come off as, you know, pandering to the subject. So I believe I remember this scene, and I believe it being. It's something about the fact that I'm sure like she's hiding behind the glass, but like the Predator is going to walk past her or something like that, and doesn't something out like that, which I feel like that's sort of you've got an animalistic kind of centre where I would imagine he's a hunter, for God's sake. You know, it's like I'm sure he would have looked around that corner. I'm sure he would have sent her something. But then again, I'm going to be the first to say it, guy. I realise it's just a movie. First one in 30 minutes exactly. Oh, I tell you what, I'm going to put my hands up in the air. That's not a scene. Well, I didn't remember that scene going out that way. So he did see her.
Well, it shows you that he's not there. I mean, he just wants out, really. I mean, again, though, obviously all his face is obviously enhanced, but I mean,
yeah.
You know, I think it was Kevin Peter Hall was the original Predator, and like he's just sheer mass, and I think his I mean, look at that. But he doesn't go for the old mask.
No. I was going to say, I'm going to have to correct you there, Mason. I believe Van Damme was the original Predator. You know.
Well, you know, technically,
He just couldn't do it.
But again, that is just such a. I wouldn't want to say a fluke, but that was such like. I don't know, it just worked out for him, because if you think about it, Van Damme, he's not really the build for it unless he delivered it in a very different way. But also the look of the alien was not good at all. Like it just looked like a giant ant, you know what I mean? So,
well, the alien actually appears in Predators, doesn't it? The alien, the first alien they mow down, is the actual, like, based on the original design. But you talk about fucking fast tracking the storyline, how fucking, like, now we're getting speed up. The Predators just put the mask on there, and it sees instantly the kid's address, and it's just like, hang on a minute. Like, where, you know what I mean? It's just like, like, the kid's got, yes, we know the kid's got the mask down and all that, but to have the address on the wall, and it's just like, that to me is lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, how did the Predator know where he's going to live? Does he have, like, mayhems or something like that?
Well, no, I just see delivery.
I watched I actually watched Sudden Death yesterday with Van Damme. I forgot how good that film is. I love Sudden Death.
Drop kicks the penguin.
Aye. Although that picture you put up, Mason, just had me buckled. The one when Casper stood at the doorway at HMV with his mask on. And then, like, you shared the one with Van Damme, and it's just like Van Damme forward with a black face, and I said, like, that is amazing. It just
this
you don't look like criminals.
Looks like a Star Wars gun. Looks like a kid's toy because it's white.
It's probably a Nerf gun not just being tidied up.
Yeah, because you know, like now guns have to be white. You know what I mean? And instead of black and stuff like that. But
the future.
Her gun looks like it's like a proper like Star Wars.
See, I'm just thinking there in the background, that kid who looks like Will Wheaton. Like, that would have been class if they cast like an 80s kid in it now. You know what I mean? Because that would have been like quite quirky as well. But Thomas Jane just being in support, though, it does add a lot of hell of a weight to this, though.
You know, and it's the fact that I think, well, I was going to say with Thomas Wayne as well, man, like, it's a film where, you know, if you watch it, I mean, I didn't pick up on it straight away, like, he does not look like Thomas Jane when you first see him. I feel like it's an interesting way to do it, where they didn't necessarily scream, like, this is Thomas Jane, pay attention. It was just like, the way they made him look, it almost feels like it deliberately, like, low-keyed him a bit, so he doesn't stand out.
But Thomas Jane wouldn't have been a bad guy to actually, like, you know what I mean? Because this is the guy who was the Punisher, and he's been on a lot of television. He's been on a lot of TV shows, like. He's been in stuff like The Mist and that. And it probably wouldn't have been a bad comeback role for him to take the lead. Do you know what I mean? Because they could have had a veteran.
I think with us fans, we're fans of him, but obviously kids these days, he's just more of a supporting actor.
And I tell you,
because his time is...
and another thing there as well, it wouldn't have been a bad cast to cast Van Damme as one of them, because Van Damme is in a film called Swelter, and I highly recommend you guys check it out. But Van Damme is not the main star of it. It's Anne Van Damme, and he plays just one of the fucking henchmen, and it's a new movie, and he does it really well in small doses. So little bits like that, I think, would have worked better. But again, it's about budget and stuff. But I still believe that the lead actor, I think they should have tried to cast somebody really, like, I'm not saying The Rock, but again, somebody on that level where, I mean, Channing Tatum, and you could have cast him and that and went, oh fuck, or Chris Hemsworth. Do you know what I mean? Because again,
it depends. It depends how much the studio had actually involved with it, like how the studio film would go, really, isn't it? Because obviously it's a fourth film now. The other one's done that well for Fox, so it really depends how much gamble they want to pay for it. You know what I mean, the budget and stuff like that. Now it's a Disney film.
Oh well, that's it. I mean, we're not gonna.
Would have made a lot more sense. I mean, we're watching a scene now where the Predator's doing a jog on the metal scaffolding. But to me, right now, I don't know how you feel, but why is this woman running around with a gun?
Yeah.
You know, that's not a character. I've not been sold on this character as someone who would have picked up a gun and look at this, just done a massive action jump on top of us. You know, why no, I'm sorry, like, but that's, I mean, what is she? I can't even remember what her actual role is in this film.
She's a scientist.
So a scientist, a scientist who can jump like 20 foot off a scaffold onto a moving bus. You know, she's... Well, that's fair enough, yeah. Yep, just shot herself in the foot, there you go. I'm a second behind you. So therefore, showcase that she didn't know what she was doing, but at the end of the day, that character shouldn't have picked up a gun and gone running after the Predator. As a scientist, she would have literally stayed in a science lab.
I think it's good that they had like this, the God Predator, they're trying to decode it, they're trying to use it as a weapon, which is the same in every other film. So I like that idea of it.
Well, it's very accurate. Yeah. Because that's what the world we live in now. I mean, I always joke and say, you know, it'll be the end of the world if aliens ever came to because at the end of the day, we'll either, you know, just endorse them and then we'll get destroyed, or we'll end up trying to make them into weapons and just...
Anyone who does not believe that aliens haven't landed on this planet in some way or form, whether it been Roswell or whatever, X-Files conspiracy, like, no, honestly, right?
36 minutes in.
Advancements of technology. Anyone who does not believe that some form of UFO has crashed on this earth, whether it been that's where we came from as a species or whatever, like, are just like stupid. Like it has had to have happened because of the technology advancements and all that kinds of shit. It had to, and the government would keep it secret.
Yeah, but there's that documentary out there, isn't that, called E.T.? Doesn't that tell you all about how it happened?
Oh yeah, I mean, that's a nice little friendly alien.
Yeah, that's how it's gonna go. Bone hole my arse.
I mean, there, look at that. The Predator's just handed in a fucking thumbs up. I mean, come on.
Oh, Jesus, I just noticed that there when you said it. Fuck off, man.
This is not Lethal Weapon. It is, you know what I mean? It's not Iron Man. It's fucking the Predator.
Mind you, when I don't know if I'm a bit ahead of you again because I know TV, but when the Predator is like a silhouette outside the spaceship, looks pretty good. Yeah, and if I remember right, the dogs just look, the CGI for the dogs just look terrible for some strange reason.
See, the model of them, I mean, absolutely, they look horrible, but the model of them, I quite like the idea of it in Predators, with the kind of different type of beast, you know what I mean? It just, again, it gave us a little bit a different DNA from the Predator world, you know what I mean? It's just like, not everyone generically looking exactly the same.
I've actually got one of the Predator pop vinyls, but he's a chase.
Oh,
He glows like a motherfucker in the UV. Like, I love him.
Is that what a sticker says?
Well, I love him like a motherfucker. Aye.
And these Predators actually took us off Earth and did it on a different planet, which was really, really good. Because if you watch any film these days, it's always on Earth because it's cheaper to film. I mean, that's the reason why Master of the Universe was on Earth instead of Eternia, because it's really cheaper film in, Los Angeles instead of a soundstage in London.
But that's where it gets a little bit more interesting. What I mentioned in one of the other chats that we had with what is being dubbed as called the volume. The stage tech that they're using on Disney at the moment. That could be the game changer because now, you've got this dome that is just made up of screens, and you can literally put yourself on any location. And it's big enough that you can create lighting if you need it, but that's the beauty of it. The screen will give you nighttime if you want nighttime, daytime if you want daytime. Whereas imagine, Mason, I'm sure you've had issues where you thought, oh shit, it's getting too dark now. I'll have to film another day or whatever. That sort of kind of question is being thrown out the window now because of this technology. So, we could end up seeing the end of this whole, or we have to settle for, Earth. Because that's the only way we're going to make it look realistic. But,
blue screens are gone, really.
Well, this is it. I think it's the thing of the past. But apparently, Shane Black has gone on record stating that he wanted the film to be true spirit to the original and for it to be R-rated. He's talking about how Deadpool could have made that possible. At the time, why it was so mentioned, because obviously it was starting to become a little bit more accessible. You'd take any blockbuster and make it R-rated if you wanted it to. But then he goes into a bit of a rant about watching The Grudge, which was released 2004, which was PG-13. And he said he remembers how frustrated he was. It kind of contradicts itself a little bit. Because he's saying all this, yet he didn't produce that. I'm just reading it, expecting to read something different at the end there, but then it just goes off on, basically sounds more like an excuse. Like he's saying, I wanted it this and I wanted it that, but maybe that was what it was, maybe the studio got in the way.
Yeah.
Maybe they would have wanted to say, no, make it a little bit more, approachable to all ages.
If I remember right, Shane Black also did a snippet about the 4 script, and he's actually had people come over and he's like, there's a script one from before, and a few producers went, that's a really good script, and obviously that's the reason why there will be anything about him for, because he's had a script in his hand for years, and he would only get out at dinner parties or when have friends over to have a look at it. If I remember what I was reading about it.
Right, I'll give you a quick ring back just on the thingy, okay? Because we're about time, alright?
Alright, no worries.
Aye. No, aye. Right, so I'm just going to bring the guys back. Hi, you're back. You're back.
Who else? Who are you trying? Are you in Jack as well?
Oh, yeah.
How are you, mate?
How are you wanting to join this Predator podcast?
Which one?
The new one, The Predator. You know the podcast we haven't done?
Nah, I'd rather sit in my hands in a club.
And all standing.
There we go. That is Jack's little cameo. That's absolutely fantastic.
If anyone doubted that there was a person called Jack who hated the film, that doubt is out the window.
Oh, that was fucking fantastic.
Bless him.
So yeah.
So you were saying that Ron Mason about the lead role, and I'm just reading up here. For whatever reason, it says that Adrian Brody expressed interest in reprising his role, which obviously they didn't go with, but maybe that was a bit far-fetched given that, again, it was all on a different planet, and that would have to explain how he got back.
Well, the thing is, I mean, just to give a massive shout out to Jack, it's great to have Jack there because Jack never wanted to do the 4th one, so massive class out shout out to Jack there. But again, at the end scene, Adrian Brody could have been in the capsule.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. That could have been a perfect intro for him, yeah.
It could have been because we'll get to it in the end, but we were expecting Arnold Schwarzenegger. And unfortunately, I would have settled for Adrian Brody.
But to be honest with you, for a split second, mind, I didn't really believe it, but the concept in my head thought of, what if it was an egg? What if it was a xenomorph? Because obviously they were talking about being the thing that could have fought off the Predator, and we all know that Alien and Predators have been feuding for years. So I would like to put that out there, that for a split second I have thought maybe we're going to get like an egg at the end, and they're going to like sort of lead it into this whole idea of we've now got a xenomorph on Earth sort of thing, and try and redo that. But yeah, definitely the Arnie, or even like when even the main guy, when he's walking down all in his uniform and everything. I mean, if you replace him with Arnie, it still makes a hell of a lot more sense.
Yeah.
You know, because obviously we don't know what happened to Arnie. We don't know if he's still in the military, or is he still in the agency, or did he go off and live in the woods, commando style, and just didn't bother anyone?
Well, Arnold Schwarzenegger was meant to be in the sequel, but he took Terminator 2, and like they had to sort of really scrap the script. Now here we go, Halloween, it's going down. And it just so happens to happen. I mean, literally, Michael Myers could walk past that shot and he would not look out of place.
Yeah.
Did you see the kid they put a helmet on and had to...
Yeah.
It's got to get a little history of like the...
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why they might have put him on the spectrum, because obviously a normal kid would be like having way more fun than that, like. Whereas I feel like they're kind of going, oh no, he's a bit out there, you know, you understand, you know, what's going on more than other kids would, sort of thing.
Well, the flat out is the kid goes out literally out here and murders somebody in a minute.
Yeah. That like gaffer tape he's got on there.
I will give it credit though, the fucking Predator outfit looks bitching with red eyes though, it looks class. And Justin reminds me, I've actually got the pop vinyl of that Predator, because he's half transparent. I have no idea where the fuck he's at, like, but I do have him somewhere.
Is that because he's transparent?
He's probably next to John McClane hanging off the skyscraper display that you've got.
I with Hans Gruber standing over the top. I'm glad you spotted that, man. Not a lot of people get that joke. I mean, it is the Sky Hard poster as well. You know.
That's what I said, yeah. He's hanging from it. So the budget was 88 million and it did 160.5, so not too bad, but obviously not what Fox was after, really, was it?
The weight on that was purely because it was Shane Black coming back to Predator. I think if you take him out of the equation, it would have been lucky to break even if it was a half-decent film, because I feel like, I don't know,
88 million, man. I mean,
the AVP did.
I mean, the first Predator must have only been fucking, like, less than 20 mil.
18. It was 18 million and it did 98.3 million in 1988. But obviously, if you think about it, it's like $5 or something like that.
We should have ran
like tenner.
We should have ran Matt Davieson's going, you watched it yet?
Let's be facts and figures.
Well,
does anyone else want to say that guy looks like Sid Haig?
I don't know, I've got a black guy on the screen now.
There, Sid Haig with Thomas Jane.
What? Keenan? Aye. I don't know, but the last Predator film, was that Requiem? Did that come out?
Requiem, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, so obviously...
No, I think Predators came after Requiem, didn't it?
Did that come out? Because I've got Requiem on at the moment, and that was a $40 million budget, and it made overall worldwide 130. So again, that's not really proving my point that it's not marketable. It definitely is marketable, but I'll just have a quick look at Predators.
The problem with Alien vs Predator Requiem, right? I mean, no disrespect to the two directors who wanted to do it because they had a lot of love for it. The thing is, it screams Canada because it's all shot in Vancouver. It's done on the fucking cheap across the border of 20th Century Fox, where they should have just put the balls to the wall with that movie. You know what I mean?
It's the only one I would actually watch. I watched Alien vs Predator once or twice, but I always go for the Requiem one. I don't know why, just because I think it's a small town kind of thing.
The thing is with Alien vs Predator, I mean, they're all right. The fucking, you know what I mean? It delivers what we've got, because at the end of the day, you get it in a confined area. It's a fucking pyramid in the fucking Antarctica. You get your Queen, you get your Predators, you get your cast, but then they got Lance Henriksen back in there, but he's not Bishop. Do you know what I mean? He's wailing, but it's set decades before You know what I mean? The event on L227, whatever it wants to be, L226 or whatever, and it gets muffled in the mythology, and
Well, it just shits on it, didn't it? Just say we don't care. We just could do our own thing, sort of thing.
I mean, again, it wouldn't have gone anywhere because don't get us wrong. I mean, Paul Anderson, he's from Newcastle. Event Horizon is fucking amazing. Mortal Kombat for when it was amazing. Do you know what I mean? He's done some good films, but then you look at the Resident Evil series and you're like, what the fuck? I mean, that franchise is just, it's like chucking in a blender, see what comes out.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, again, just shits on the mythology. You know, it's the fact that, like, you know, it's literally written for you. It's been said, like, for years that the first Resident Evil film is pretty much a made movie, ready, and they still managed to put that up. And like I say, we're going to have to acknowledge that that kid just literally killed a kid.
Well, he didn't just kill a kid, he just killed an entire family, that.
He just blew the house up, basically, yeah.
The thing is, I think like the helmet would be so bloody heavy on that kid and the armour.
I put gaffer tape on. He didn't say his head. You could tell he put some tape on it or something like that. But you're right though. So just as I mentioned, just because I mentioned it earlier on, I just want to make a point that it still made a lot of money. Predators, that was a $40 million budget as well, and made 127 million worldwide. So, you know, like I say, they're making money, but then again, you base it off a presence of what's already out there. People probably will always go and see a film that has a predator in.
Well, that's it. I
has
mean,
an alien in.
I mean, if you look at it in a weird way, you get these predators. Maybe it's what do you want to say? What 5 to maybe 7 year period, 10-year max, and it comes in. It takes its money. Again, you've got to remember, 20th Century Fox has probably made a lot of money off the back catalogue, you know, rediscoveries. But if you try to watch all 4 of these movies, by the time you're watching this, you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, definitely.
It just
Shane
goes
Black has revealed that there was apparently there's a rough cut that was so dark they nicknamed it the Night Cut, and it led to reshooting for the 3rd act. So again, it just seemed to be that they seemed to have been going in a certain direction that he wanted to go in.
But then the studios went no.
Yeah. And again, it's just another bad taste in your mouth when it comes to like film for studio getting involved.
especially Fox.
Yeah.
Obviously, Alien 3.
Well, that might be the end, you know, of that now that Disney involved. But then again,
what Disney need to do is
Disney
Disney just needs to set up a different studio, get across a few of these franchises, and just make the money off them. But don't have Walt Disney's name on it, because at the end of the
But
day,
no, I think that's what he said. He did say something along the lines of that. He said anything that's like Fox product. He said, don't be surprised if you don't see like anything Disney on it, or you won't have the Disney Castle intro and stuff like that, because they are going to be films that aren't necessarily going to be what they want linked directly to them. So you're right there, like.
I'm sure they released the Fox logo and they had right at the bottom instead of Walt Disney Company, right at the bottom of it.
Well, on the brass statue thing.
Yeah, I'm sure they
Alright.
did that. I don't know.
Can't say I've seen it.
Oh, these dogs are terrible.
yeah.
Just the CGI looks terrible on those dogs.
That's it, Carl. You were saying there's no weight to them.
Nah, not at all. You don't feel any threat.
I've seen dinosaurs look more real than that.
Oh, Jesus, that looked like that looked like a PlayStation 1 graphic there. That green bloody blood. Nah, that's.
And of course, this one becomes friendly.
Because it's a family film.
I'm going to say, didn't it like having to just lobotomized him though? I don't think he became friendly. I think they just made him stupid. It's just like, it's just weird.
It doesn't help me. I mean, look at it walking in the background. Like again, though, like you kind of like you do feel sorry for it. You glad it comes back, but like, this doesn't help my problem with like trying to not think that this is Devon Sawyer, because he's about to get into a fucking camper van, like in idle hands.
Yeah.
Every time I see Winnebagos from Spaceballs.
You ever seen Strange Wilderness?
I don't think
It's
so.
a fucking brilliant film. It's when they go and try and find Bigfoot, and Justin Long steals the fucking gas from the dentist, and they don't realise it's leaking, and it's all parked up beside the road, and they're all having a fucking rave, and then it's the fucking middle of the day in the fucking camper van. It's fucking hilarious. Now, is this the Super Predator, or is this just the normal Predator?
That's just normal one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it comes out this.
I mean, if it was going to be serious, someone would be taking a fucking selfie of that.
Yeah. So it's just because I'm scrolling down, which is why I'm mentioning these things, because I think some of them are quite interesting. Again, it just screamed that the studio got involved. Shane Black confirmed via Twitter that the film will be R-rated. He tweeted, and just to be clear, PG-13 is for pussies, spines bleed a lot. Black also tweeted, I'm standing on the set of a 7-foot-tall gentleman in a Predator suit, so no, it's not all CGI. This tweet confirmed that the movie will stay true to the original by having the Predator be played by a guy in a suit instead of CGI.
Oh, it's a bit off, isn't it?
How much change? Well, I do believe that there's a 7-foot bloke in that suit.
Yeah, yeah.
At the end of the day, you can put a 7-foot bloke. So, look at Jar Jar Binks, for example. You know, that's a real bloke in a suit. But if you wrap it all up in CGI, it makes no difference. You might as well have just made a CGI character.
I mean, the bit there you can tell when he's on hanging the guy in his suit, which is good. But the Predator looks too clean, doesn't he? He looks too. Oh, here we go.
I mean, that shadow, and it's like, doof, doof. It's like, it's not a fucking massive crate outside the door, is it?
Right. I suppose I had to put a Super Predator in because obviously they needed a villain, didn't they?
They didn't know. They should have just made this Predator unstoppable.
Yeah, it just totally.
I mean, he's just done a total RoboCop there, man. He's just pulled the guy up the fucking wall.
Yep.
The Super Predator CGI looks so bad.
Oh, here he is. I mean, we don't need one.
No weight whatsoever. Whoever wins, we lose. But we will win.
Oh, we've got subtitles. I mean,
Who for?
us.
I know. It's sometimes but then it says English.
But then this just does what Transformers do when you're like, what the fuck are you watching? You know what I mean?
I can say you're not really seeing any, you're just seeing like close-up combat, which is nothing really. And I think if you use your imagination, I mean, these predators are literally born hunters. So, like, you don't read this is the moment, even if we have to have the Predator versus Predator fight, this could have been a moment where we could have really showcased, like, how skillful they are in fighting. Whereas, really, he's picking them up, throwing them. He's picking up, throwing them. There's not really any skill or anything like in it. Even the Predator's getting arse kicked. You know, he should have put up a little bit of a fight. Oof.
Well, again, that's it. You bring this Predator back, and I mean, I totally forgot that Predator got killed there, but you bring the Predator back there, and you're like, well, it's like killing off the T-Rex in Jurassic Park 3, or how easy the Predator died in Predators, and you've got the new one. It's kind of like, you can't forget what people like love about the original. It's fucking industry. It takes out an entire fucking gorilla squad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It took out entire Jamaican posse and half the fucking LA police force before it even had a problem. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't like the animation.
That's it. I mean, it's not like a heat sensor, that is it though. It's just like proper, just being so crisp and colourful.
Yeah. But why did always heat sensor? Why is that now the go-to look? I mean, in the first Predator, we see that he switches to like 10 different views.
That's the second one out in the factory. That.
The second one, sorry, yeah. But like the fact that that is a view that they choose to see when they need to see it, whereas this is like kind of saying, no, that's a generic look. That's how they see everything. Like, no, not really.
Can you see that?
I can't hear it. What do you say? Don't say it.
I'm going to say that one. Says the N word.
I'll do that now. This is not going to get flagged.
Oh no, flagging.
No, not on here. I mean, like, whatever streaming service you might be able to find it.
So no TV.
See this guy, I'll just find out what his name is, rather than just say the black guy on the screen. That's a bit...
Oh, I mean,
Sterling K. Brown, that's the one. I've seen him in a bunch of stuff, and he can be really, really good. In fact, the irony is that I don't think he's ever really showcased in film as well as he ever did in the TV series Supernatural. He kind of goes from being like a good guy hunter to getting like proper obsessed and like literally turned into a bad guy. And like I say, within about maybe 4 or 5 episodes spread out through a couple of seasons, he really showcases like quite a character that you can like sort of get on board with. Whereas in films, I feel like he always gets underplayed. Even this, he's getting a fair bit of screen time, but like I don't think he's really getting to showcase what he
he's not a touch on Gary Busey though in fucking Predator 2. You fucking feel the viciousness of him. Gary Busey's just fucking class.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, when the Predator like sort of whacks his fangs out, you know, the only thing you're going to do is get Gary Busey in the stream, show me your gaffers, mate, show your teeth. That'll scare anybody. That would be a great scene, that mine. Gary Busey taking on a Predator.
Well, we've seen that in Predator 2.
But I mean, proper, like, I want to see, like, an actual, like, an unrealistic fight. I want it to, like last a few more than a few minutes. More of a, like, let's say, a fantasy match.
So, do you guys think they'll do another Predator film?
Oh, of course they will.
To be honest with you, the numbers don't lie, mate, and I think, yes, I think, like I say, the fact that we're never really getting the product that we want, but it's like Transformers. They're putting out films that are generally regarded to be quite bad films, but because they're making the money, nobody's listening to anything else. They're saying, well, you know, fair enough.
Bumblebee was good.
Bumblebee was awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was almost a perfect Transformers film, if it wasn't for John Cena. And don't get us wrong, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's easy to, like, sort of take the mick out of John Cena, but I'm not being funny, he's not The Rock. And he might need a few more films under his belt, but I just don't see any real acting ability in that man.
Well, I think
he plays John Cena with a twinge.
Yeah, what I think that probably just lower. No, probably better for it. I mean, well, the budget, don't CGI. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Practical effects, go back to basics.
Well, that's it. I mean, Bumblebee was CGI. But at the end of the day, it did it enough to kind of like, I don't know, it took its time. With Michael Bay, it's too fast, it's like, it's blurry, I don't know what's going on. Even the scene at the beginning of Bumblebee in space, that's what a Transformers film I've always wanted. And to be honest with you, even though it was only a few minutes, it was still better than any of the Transformers films that Michael Bay's done. Yeah.
But like,
because it took the time.
For Predator, I think what they'll do, instead of doing 80 to 100 million pound per film, they knock it down to maybe 50, 60, and I mean, on the film itself, a story more than anything else, and just go back a bit. What I need to do.
Yeah. I mean, Mason, obviously, I'm wondering your thoughts on this as well. But I mean, are we talking about the next so-called Predator film that might happen? Are we on agreement that it should just scrap everything that's been done and try again, or do we at least try and make a Predator film based on this new suit at the end? Like, are we really gonna? Do we really want to see a human wearing a suit?
No, fuck that. Honest to God.
It doesn't seem to be enough weight in it. I don't think. I feel like it might last a 5-minute scene that might look cool, but I don't think it has enough to warrant an entire film made out of it.
If it was me personally, I would fucking isolation would be the best thing. You know what I mean?
Just a direct sequel.
Something isolated, like in an isolated event. I mean, again, guys, going back to the whole, it could be in the past. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have a medieval one to max. Have, like, you know what I mean? Has anyone ever seen Outlander, the film with Jim Caviezel in?
No.
It's fucking, honest to God, it's fucking mental. So he's from space and he crashes in the Viking times, right? And there's like a monster called the Morwin, the special effects are fucking class. But all these Vikings are like, you're not a spaceman. But then next thing you know, there's this fucking massive monster, and the special effects are done really well, and it works because it's a proper clash of cultures.
Yeah.
But like again, what happens if a predator landed in a prison somewhere, or like if it was in like China? Because obviously, if you said to China, "Oh, I want to put the Predator film in China," I mean, I guess they would throw a fortune at it. A big city event,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But then, do you bring like the social media aspects into it? Well,
I personally think the prison idea, I never thought of it that one until you've just said that. I'd buy that, and I would also, like, I don't know, like, it may be a bit much, but maybe something a lot more like Western, you know?
Well, a Western.
You know, take it to a Western aspect to it, because I think there is a six-shooter in the Predator 2, I think, or at least there's a version of a six-shooter on the wall when he's looking at all the different weapons, I'm sure of it. So it's not like we can't say that Predators went back or they had been there before, but I think that would be interesting.
But what about this? What about if it was just on a ship? Basically, a massive fucking ship. Doesn't have to. No science.
A cruise ship.
No, maybe it's a cruise ship or maybe it's a cargo ship. Give a couple of characters stolen away or whatever, and they actually find it. It comes, you know what I mean, and it's just all takes place on a ship, and then have it pissing down, have it pitch black, but have it proper 18 rated and more survival. But this again.
Awesome if they did, like, I was gonna say, like, if you imagine a cargo ship, I think what works really well with that is, let's just say that he's like, let's just say he crashed in the sea. Obviously they find it and pick him up, and like not him, but like maybe a craft of some sort, put him on the cargo ship, but have it so like being stripped bare. Let's say all the technical stuff is not working. So you've literally got a predator, and like let's just say even a blade. You know, he's got a spear or he's got something where it goes back to that primal kind of hunting aspect of it. So like, I don't want to say like a shoulder cannon, because you know that would just be too easy.
The bit where, sorry man, the bit goes in the house. We're trying to shoot him. If he's up to it now, the CGI looks so bad. He's in the house.
The lassie's arguing with the soldiers at the moment on mine.
Yeah, well,
He's arguing.
Watching.
Guns coming out.
Guns are coming out now.
The CGI is so bad on it.
It's too light.
Again, yeah, I mean, like I say, it's what you don't see that work well, not what you do see.
Is this Carl going back to what you were saying? Weight. There's no weight there.
Yeah, nah. And like I say, one might say, "Oh, that's proper rated R, that just the way like he pretty much gutted that blow," but it's not real. You know, it doesn't feel real. Like, it doesn't like it just doesn't feel like they've gone really gritty there. It just feels like they've just used, like I say, no weight, no. It's just a game character.
I mean, at the end of the day, what it could have been different if that thing, in natural form, was to walk on all fours. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, go a little bit more prehistoric.
It's just a fucking big ass fucking creature.
But you see, like what I see when it's predators in a bad when it gets finished doesn't matter. That's the first thing. The first thing does not look right.
Paul, you're doing your whole you're doing your best movie impression.
I'm not the internet and the phone. I was supposed to do. Guys, I'm not controlling the internet, you know.
See, it works fine when you're angry. It works fine when you're angry.
Don't get offensive, but just try and make it clear so that when you say shit that we don't know what you're saying, we can tell you.
I'm going to have to hold my phone up to me gob.
Well,
for 500 more points for your Can You Fill in the Gap? It was really tight time.
It's like, what I really like about this is this and that, and it's just like, okay, yeah, you like the scene, I think.
Oh, yeah, everyone knows MMA. Push down.
Yeah.
And
Why
fucking
do the predator dogs look like the aliens from Evolution?
Yeah. I mean, I just want to say, if anyone's still watching this on YouTube, I just want to say thank you, congratulations, because we've not sold this film what bit. Not that we're meant to, but
I mean, I don't.
it's just been a massive rant.
I mean, that doesn't look too bad.
It's still a bit light.
Oh, it's too late.
It's still, I'm seeing too much detail. Ooh, I don't know, like, right, I mean, I'm talking, like, as a woman's perspective, but I'm a big guy, right, guys? I don't know if I've got the leg strength to sweep someone. I feel like it always seems to be the go-to move when people are on the floor or...
Oh, I do that to
like,
Paul Ray all
hanging
the
away.
time.
Like, I don't know if I could sweep someone, and especially getting that kind of reaction. I can imagine someone, like, kind of stuttering, stuff like that. I mean, Paul, do you hit the floor when he sweeps you?
I just get picked up and carried around these days. Like some kind of prize.
Well, you are a prize to us all, Paul. We all feel like winners to know you.
Thanks, man. The bit where she falls off the side, and she's got a chair attached to the handcuffs.
Yeah, good. Still attached to the chair, though. Even though it's broken into 100 pieces.
But yeah. But like I said, if you go to the Predator films, the first one, you cannot beat the first one. It is like a top-notch film. It's got everything you need, and then it just kind of goes. I mean, even Predator 2, 1990s, awesome.
Yeah, it's memorable. You know, I can still think when I hear Predator, I think of either those stupid lines like "I ain't got no time to bleed," you know.
I'm too old for this
like
shit.
Billy just standing on the bridge being a fucking badass, you know. You know, you think he's going to be a proper showdown, and it's not. The next time you see him, he's hanging up somewhere. And so, like, it's those things that you kind of remember, and you think, oh, that was such a good scene, or oh, that was such a nice angle I did on that. Whereas this, it's just modern-day popcorn, like, kind of mind-numbing action film. And that's not always a bad thing. Again, if it's done right, I don't mind someone coming out and saying, I want to make a film that's just purely just bullshit. It's just showcasing, you know, special effects and doing, like, all sorts of tricks and stuff like that. But
Well,
like,
Bill Pack-
this film's not endorsing that. I'm not saying anything like they're still trying to make a decent film, and they just admitted that it was never going to be a decent film. It could have, like, I don't know, could
Mate,
have been better.
if this wasn't a Predator movie, then it would have been fine. If they changed the alien, it would have worked as that. But it's kind of like, I mean, again, we can throw all the ideas out there in the world. It's kind of like there's a lot of people who would have loved this and, you know, probably said you would embrace this as a film. And again, they are trying. And again, I'm saying in 5 years' time, when they make another one, you'll probably look back and go, well, the fourth one was not too bad, really, in retrospect. But like, I just, again, it's just so much gone on. There's just been so much going on, bouncing back and forth, and
It's all over the place.
You got a government behind it, and then you got other people behind it. It's just like, then you got a family involved. It's like, oh, bloody hell, man. If I remember right, the end bit's pretty good where you go lift snipers and stuff. If I remember right, that's not too bad.
I don't remember anything after this, to be honest with you.
well, that's it.
So how many? So you got Predator, Predator 2, Predators, this Predator, Alien vs Predator, Alien vs. So you got 5. You got what? 6 films? 3, 4, 5, 6 Predator films.
Well, there's not much historical facts I can throw in, guys, so I'm going to throw you another one, which is from the wonderful word of IMDb. It's just a weird way to go, I think, or just a weird thing to mention anyway. The subtitles on the Blu-ray and DVD all use British spellings rather than American spellings, such as centre, meter, colours. So basically they use English and not American, which, you know, quite nice to be fair.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. I think we'll make you a jingle.
I mean, I mean, here's the fun one then, because obviously we've seen the film. Some of us can't remember something, but if I want to hear a guess, right? What do we think the body count is in this entire film?
Is that including people or just predators? Because obviously there's only two predators.
Well, I'm just going to go off the fact that I'm reading body count with a number next to it, so I'm going to say it all.
Right,
I would say out of the 4 Predator films, I would say Predator 2 is the most. Then this. Then the third. No, then the first, then the third.
I'll stop you there. I'm just asking about the body count in this film. I don't have all of them.
Yeah, I know what
the body
you're
count for this film.
It's about 30 in it.
42.
I got 30, did I say, Mason?
Yeah.
What did you
42.
say, Paul?
42.
42, well, Paul Ray, you are closest. But you're still quite far off, as it's a grand total of 58.
They're counting all the people who got killed in the fucking laboratory and all the people outside, aren't they? Like all the cannon fodder, not the proper characters.
Well, I'm sorry, like Mason, but the scientists not have human rights.
I mean, that guy's just been shot in the eye with a fucking pellet gun. I'll give him, he's dead on camera, that's fine.
Why do you think Austin Powers there? Oh yeah, because there's an Austin Powers where the henchmen have families and ring them up, say, oh, I think he's died or something. Isn't Chris Slater in Austin Powers?
He's in the first one, aye.
Yeah.
The Sherbet one.
Stops him going down the corridor.
Orange Sherbet.
Yeah, sorry, why did I remember that for? Anyway, back to the Predator.
Now, going back to these characters, now these characters come and shine. Like, these guys have just been missing half the fucking film.
Yeah, it's almost feels like they're now getting on board with, like, okay, let's fight.
It is 1 hour and 13 minutes into it, and they're all just starting to do their own kind of things, you're right? They all start doing their own.
But it's like they've only got the special moves, and then they get killed.
Yeah. Oh, because they don't really stand much of a fight, if you think about it overall.
So when you went to see this at the pictures, Mason, obviously the 4DX make a difference. But do you not think that's like more of a gimmick just to get people into the seats just to watch this film?
I think like it's what it worked though. Like this is the kind of movie it works for. I mean, you should go to see certain movies that you're ready to watch, but then films like this should be made to like what Universal Studios were doing in the 90s and stuff like that. You go out for an experience, and that's why you go to the cinema, and like you always wait for a DVD. Or, you know what I mean? It's kind of... Films should be made to be seen, but nowadays everyone just goes, just wait till it's on Netflix and watch it in proper lower quality, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there was fucking no one there. No one there.
I've just looked online, right? And that's a lot higher than I thought. What do you reckon the body count is in the first Predator film?
Including the villagers.
Villagers and remember, you got to remember who dies in the original movie, doesn't he? Jimmy Hoffa dies. He's dead.
Yeah.
22.
No.
You think 22?
It's in its 50s.
50s,
50s.
right. Well, if I'm reading this right, which I've double checked it as well, and I'm pretty sure I am, 84?
Eh?
Yeah.
There's only a little village.
A lot of them are gorillas. Not gorillas as in the animal.
Gorillas in the mist.
As in G-U-E-R.
No,
E-S.
They went to one village. Schwarzenegger picked up a car, let it go, crush a few people. There's not 84 people there, man.
Well, to be fair, they did massacre a whole fucking village, you know what I mean? I mean, what do you think Blaine did with his fucking Gatling gun? 4 people.
Yeah, but then if you watch something like John Rambo, you know what I mean? I'm a little village there, just him taking everyone out. Nah, different now.
Well, the way this has got it written is in, like, literally, so, like, it's got it written, like, as the film goes on. So, like, the first one is Pilot, the second one is Jim Hopper, and then you've got 3 American soldiers that is just kind of mentioned, but this must be the bodies that you find hanging, because they're just titled as, when I say killer, it just says the Jungle Hunter, so I'm guessing that means Predator. A hostage. And then we've got from that we've got literally from 6 all the way down to bloody hell, 70, which are all guerrillas, so that must have been a village. You got a Russian advisor. It's just, oh, fuck, no, there's so many.
I can't believe it.
Fucking hell, they think we were bored doing this and someone's sitting and doing that. Fucking hell.
Well, this is it. I always find that when I watch a new film, I think, oh, I wonder what like review has been given, or wonder what what people think of it. Now I watch a lot of films that are like one that I really look forward to on day one, and I literally after I come out from watching it, I'll go on YouTube, and of course
I do it afterwards.
It's probably been out in America for like even a day or two, but like when you get someone who put a video up and going 74 Easter eggs you may have missed, I was like, how the fuck? I could only have seen this in the cinema.
Oh, but that again,
that's these individual details.
But again, that's when people like make it the job and they make a living off it. And it's like I still don't agree with that. That's why I would never monetize any of the podcasts because they're just podcasts. It's you know what I mean. It's someone else's content technically because we're watching someone else's film. And like, there's no I personally don't believe I have the right to monetize and make money off this podcast. You know, it's not fair on you guys. It's you know what I mean. It's not fair on whoever.
Bloody is fair on me.
What?
No.
Well, the last thing I checked out, did you not get something in the post from all us this morning? Like, is a fucking matey thing, aye? Aye.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go on Dildo King next and start ordering shit to your house. Did you hear that, Paul?
No.
I want to go on Dildo King and start ordering some stuff.
You mean King Dong?
Well, Dildo King. No, King. No, Dildo King, because my mate Turner's got a T-shirt.
So what's the film now? I'm told it's tracks in a spaceship ready or something.
Oh, Predator Dog's back. It's now a friend.
He looks so bad. Is he just been in a van now and Predator Dog? It looks so bad, doesn't it? He pulls the
he's just got in the back. I mean, what happens if you wanted to keep that dog and you took it to the vets? What kind of species is it?
It's a mixed breed.
Aye.
It needs a flea jab. Is it a hay? Okay.
Again, though, like the whole idea that
was just a cartoon.
Like we're just having to deal with this new predator now, and I feel gypped because like, again going back to the predator being the force of nature. Yeah. I don't want this new predator.
Oh God!
I don't like the fact that he's running around with the shoulder blaster. Like you wouldn't know how it works. It's all connected. I mean, if I remember correctly, I don't even know how it works because there was no trigger on it, was there?
No.
Just connect to the predator's
it's his arm, innit?
Yeah, his arm. I've got to say that CGI and that super predator in the tree looks so bad when he bites his head off.
Yeah. What do we think the body count is from First Blood?
First Blood's not that many. First Blood must be under 20.
Very much under.
It's got to be under 10. It's not many in First Blood.
It's under 10 as well.
No, fuck no. It's 1.
It is.
Yes.
Well done.
Well, it's technically no. It's technically 2 because his mate he comes to find at the start is dead.
Well, yeah, I suppose you're right. And there's also the alternative take, which he died at the end as well.
No.
Spoiler alert.
You got the fucking legs again. Oh, I'm good. I got there.
Well, I'll run through and just because I've got them on the screen. So the first film is First Blood is 1. First Blood Part 2 is 75. Rambo 3 is 115. And Rambo 4 comes in at a staggering 254.
You could probably analyse Bambi and get more death kills than fucking First Blood.
Yeah. Well, exactly. We've already got the mother.
So the guy's got to yeah, we're just keeping the guy off stuff.
Nah, Thomas Jane and boys running away now, hiding behind the tree. Again, though, we're getting the end in the jungle. And I guess that kind of...
Come back full circle, innit? It started in the jungle, it's ending in the jungle. Which I feel like this is like this is the thing they got. They gave Shane Black. Like, okay, if you want something, we can have you do it in the jungle. I felt like that was the one thing you really wanted.
But it doesn't feel like the jungle. I mean, it just feels like.
No, it doesn't.
It just feels like a park.
Yeah.
It's like a concert or something, isn't it?
Hey. Then see the noise with the guns not there, like.
Yeah, because they look like the original, but didn't sound like it. Which again is what bugs us, because it's a simple thing, the thing that we should have mastered by now. You know what I mean? It's like technology's fantastic, guys, but let's just remember, even going back 20, 30 years ago, things sounded good.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? You don't have to like digitize everything.
Did light him up also, I suppose.
Yeah.
Both 4 films, honestly, I'd rather watch the third one again than this one.
Well, it's one of those franchises where I think my heart of hearts, I'll only ever really say it as Predator 1 and 2.
I
You
know.
I wouldn't. The Predators, I wouldn't turn off. Maybe if it was on telly, but I wouldn't go out my way to watch the AVP films again. Probably not.
I was just gonna say there, one thing's missing is the Predator's humour. Over here,
Yeah.
stick around. You're one ugly motherfucker. You know what I mean? It's
Listen,
like the stalkism of it. He's out there and having fun. Of course, the
Did
head.
again the way that helmet landed in a perfect position, and just so happened to strike him. It just it's bullshit.
Oh, flame! Like again, going back to me Relic podcast. I mean, like. You're talking 20 years later and they still haven't mastered the art, and me personally, of like moving flames. Just set someone on fire.
Just wait till Thomas Jane jumps on top of it, looks even worse.
So why? I could see why he is a bit insane, I suppose. But it makes no logic. Oh, see, okay, I'm going to give it credit, right? You don't see that death coming, so that was quite interesting how they approached that. And the actual plan. Again, I totally agree with you about the whole the flames and everything, but their plan to get him, it's actually really quite good. You know what I mean? It's like quite clever how to put it all together.
Aye, but it's not a mashup like the 80s mashups we've got in the original, when they're all like pulling down the tree trunks and all that, and like, rah, rah, you know, like the mashup. It's just like they've just chucked a few claymores on there, and I'm sure as well it's a kind of like, it's almost like a love-hate kind of thing. This like a.
Yeah.
They got 2 stars in Sky Cinema.
Oh.
See,
Speed 1, Speed 2 gets half a star. I was looking the other day.
Really?
Aye.
See, I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and say, you know, it is. I don't hate the idea of them two like killing themselves. Like you kind of get that bit of a like we're a team sort of thing. You know, it's a bit cliche. It's a bit silly. You know, he's hanging from a tree from guts, and Keenan, you could not see his stomach anymore, so he definitely shouldn't be alive. But the fact that they shoot themselves is just kind of.
Do you think it was an unused ending for Lethal Weapon that maybe came up with? Oh yeah, I remember writing that rough idea. Like that'll do. Put that in.
Yeah,
Riggs is hanging on a tree.
Riggs hanging on a tree and Murdoch's on the floor.
And Murdoch's on the floor.
Again, though, you've got to think Danny Glover not having a cameo in this. Danny Glover's been doing Badass and Badass 2 and shit. He's, you know what I mean? Because like Shane Black obviously knows him from Lethal Weapon as well.
You know who I think? I mean, if it was ever going to be used for Danny Glover's character.
Oh,
I mean,
Danny. Sorry, to correct. Danny Glover was meant to be in Predators. That's why Lawrence Fishburne's in the movie.
I just want to say that.
Ah.
Mr.
I was literally about to say if there was ever going to be a role that I would rather see Danny Glover in.
That was originally going to be Danny Glover. Yeah, that was originally going to be Danny Glover.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, it'd be like, why haven't we seen him? Where did he go? Because we saw him on the ship at last. We didn't see anything after that. We could have done anything by that point. So.
Well, it makes perfect sense in the story that they would go and get him because of what he had done. And it made perfect
Oh,
sense for him to
does it?
turn up. Again, though, it's like them wanting Bill Paxton to be in Alien vs Predator Requiem, and him just having a cameo, getting killed, because then Bill Paxton's been killed in like all the franchise's second installments. As like a fucking
that's
just
right,
an Easter egg joke. And I think they even offered him £1 million. He was like, no.
But you know what it is? I respect them more for it because, again, they're not focused on making a good film.
Mm.
They're focused on making cliche moves and, you know, yes, would I have been psyched to see Bill Paxton turn up out of nowhere? Of course I would have been, but when you're making a film and your priority is, oh, I want Bill Paxton so that we can say that he's been killed in every one of the sequels, that's not your goal.
Mm.
If you turn around and say, I've got a really good role for Bill Paxton, you probably would have said, oh, right, okay, let's hear it. But if that was the only reason, then they wouldn't have. You couldn't turn around and say, well, no, I'm not interested. I'm an actor, you know, give us an actual role.
Well, he was a really good director as well, like Frailty and stuff like that. He was really good in like The Colony. He turns on the right creep, but he's not. This guy getting cut in half. Like, oh.
Thing about this, with it on the nib itself.
It just doesn't look right. I mean, that blood. Oh man, it's just.
It just too red, if that's the thing. Looks fake. But then there was no reason why he couldn't jump. He had all the time in the world.
I guess he's a bit like this.
Mind you, we wouldn't have done much better because this guy's not exactly working out for him.
He can sacrifice himself.
Looks so bad. I think because it's set in the day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like even Predator 2 had to like really work around the fact that they had to use like things like the subways and stuff like that, because if it was just all daytime, you lose all the mystique of the character.
I mean, that looks shit when he's sliding down there, man. Like, what are we watching?
With the force field, yeah.
You remember when Danny Glover goes into the Predator ship in the second one? It's all like red and smoke, and you're like, what the fuck?
Like practical.
I don't know if you guys watched it, but did you ever see when I did the playthrough for Predator 2 on the Mega Drive? And I sat and played through the whole game and like fucking amazing nostalgia and all that, and I got to the last level and I shit you not, it is fucking impossible. Like I couldn't, like I was trying to play it and it was, honest to God, you've never fucking seen anything as hard as that next level. Like
you'll have to put a link in this when we do this podcast.
I think I did it in parts. I think I'll send you the last level. I just keep getting murdered and I get more and more frustrated.
It did not just me, but like they've really, really like overdone the whole hanging upside down. It's like that seems to be all the Predator knows how to do. Like I think we've seen at least about half a dozen people strung upside down. It's like, oh, remember when we did it in the first film? This is what the Predator does. It's just,
well,
like,
that's that actually is Shane Black though, isn't it? Because Shane Black gets murdered off in the bush, and then he's hanging from the tree all like bloodied up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a shame that we've had to really put up with this fucking Bigfoot Predator for pretty much over half the movie.
Well, this is it. The actual Predator, I mean, like I say, he got wiped out within seconds, and now we've just been playing this, I don't know, just this Bigfoot, like you say.
But I mean, the whole Predator should team up these guys to fight the main one, the new one. That would be the bit better. Then you would have learned the history of the Predators, wouldn't you?
I would have
It would have made more sense to not team up with them, but to also have it like as a triple threat, basically, like have the human just trying to survive, but having the other predator say, right, this is what I do. I'm gonna hunt you down, so like you could have like scenes cutting between each other. Oh no, oh her coming out of nowhere with the nah.
Come on, she shot herself in the foot with a freaking dart gunman. Yeah, she's useless. Oh no, he's stuck. No,
it's just.
You wish I just got some chihuahuas and put masks on them. They would look more real.
And did the dog just throw up something else that is going to become really handy?
Oh, it's lost an arm. Seen that before.
Well done, kid.
Oh, I'm like really struggling to watch this. Like, it's just not.
It's horrible.
It's horrible.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is a bit like, isn't it?
Pick up the dead arm.
It's a shame. You know what I mean? The Predator fan since 1980.
Again, you know what it is? I wouldn't have been so hateful on it if it wasn't for the fact that it was Shane Black. You know, like I say, the only selling point about this film when they first announced was finally we've got someone who understands the franchise. And like, it's just, I mean, like I say, I know I'm shitting on Shane Black, and we've already established a really good chance that this was all studio influences, but still, it's just not working at all.
It kind of feels like it's a straight extreme more than a major blockbuster film.
You know what it is? It's literally, you know, when you get those Alien versus Hunter films, those B movies. This might as well be like a Predator B movie adaptation.
It's good.
Well, that's what they should have done, man. It should have been like, I mean, now this would just come out straight on Netflix. Netflix exclusive, new Predator. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then you wouldn't have looked at it so much and went, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It would be made with less money too. Yeah.
Paul, I've just found a photo. Oh, Paul Ray! I've just found a photo of you from this is more interesting than the movie. March 2016. It's the Three Amigos. There's me and you.
Oh yeah.
And then there's a picture of you in front of the blackboard. It's for top 20 movies of the 80s.
Jesus Christ.
Mate, you're a big in there, mind. I'll keep it on my screen and send you it over.
Thanks,
Can you remember what year put as number one?
Well, in the 80s, mine would have been I don't know, it was the Lost Boys of the Thing, I think. I don't know if I can actually send it on this, actually, hang on.
Mind you, for 2 days I have had like a massive bar of chocolates for like 2 each. I've been down the shops getting from Stand, but I've been eating them in the house and stuff.
There, it should be on the group chat there.
Right,
See, now this scene here should have had the main guy to one side, you know, just doing something else, and this guy should have been Arnie. It should have been I've heard about all this activity, I've come to check it out. And it would have looked so good. It would have been like, at least it would have been a redeeming quality to say like, oh yeah, he's still in the business, and he's like maybe saying, oh, he's been trying to find all sorts out using government tech, and they obviously now that this has come to light.
This should have been, I mean, it should have been Arnold Schwarzenegger, Miz, Adrian Brody, but no, that fucking, it coming out of the pod, it should have been Schwarzenegger, man.
Yeah.
I thought it was. When I watched it, I was like, no way. We're gonna do it. And if it did, we would have got some extra brownie points, but...
Especially in the...
had a redeeming quality.
Yeah, especially in the era of Marvel Universe and these Easter egg endings.
Oh, no, I've got a better idea, guys. This pod opens, right?
Ripley.
And it's Danny Glover, and all he does is you go, I'm getting too old for this shit. Now that, I would have stood up and applauded.
I'm not doing that thing when watching again. Oh my god, Schwarzenegger, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Or even Ripley from Aliens. Imagine that.
Imagine it was Hicks.
Yeah.
Or Newt. Mostly.
I mean, this is just such a letdown. I mean...
Why did they let the kids do all this stuff in this science lab? You know what I mean?
Because he's special.
Oh god, Predator killer. Oh, freaking hell, man.
Have you seen that picture yet? I put it on the group.
No.
No, I'm too busy watching this shit.
Oh man, I'm being honest to God, it's going on and 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 on. It's going to be Schwarzenegger. And then what? What's this? A cross?
worse because I haven't got any sound on it. So I'm just sitting there waiting for the reveal. It's just
And, like-
oh, come on.
Is it Schwarzenegger? And then you go, oh, is that it? What is it?
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. How did they get this again? Did the Predator leave it to them?
It was on the Predator's ship.
So at some point the Predators were protecting the humans.
I mean, better word, that should have been Jake Busey as well. He
Yeah,
should have been right at the
yeah.
end as well.
How bad was the CGI though?
Why does it have dreadlocks? It's a robot.
Yeah.
That's so bad.
Transformers in disguise.
Predators.
Again, like, oh yeah, the guys just come off RoboCop, so, oh mate, do you fancy doing us a favour on the new Predator film? What's that?
Oh.
I just love how that Poindexter's the first person in the world to get to wear the Predator killer. That'll be such a child blame.
Oh god, it's...
Waste of a franchise.
And at this point I was like...
So deflated.
Well, the guy who wrote this with Shane Black did Monster Squad, Naval Creeps, Robocop 3, House Films also, Fred Decker. I don't recognise the name. So he wrote some of those films also. So I may as well do my Ray review, my Ray ratings.
I was going to say, this is the thing I've been looking forward to the most, more than this film, I think.
It's nothing good, mate. How many get to the choppers would you give it out of 10?
You can't have that, he didn't say get to the chopper.
That's all you're getting in this film.
You might as well have many lobotomised fucking Predator hounds.
Yeah. Get to the choppers.
Well, as an overall film, and we've all agreed that if this was not a Predator film, it would have been somewhat a half-decent action film. But I think the reality is, I can't say it for what it's not. It is a Predator film. It is very failed in that term. I would probably have to go with I just feel like I'm being too generous if I give it 1, but it literally, for me, as a film, it's a one get to the chopper.
Out of 10?
Yeah, I mean,
Fuck
there's no
me!
redeeming quality.
Jesus!
There's no redeeming quality in it at all, because like I say, we can all sit there and say, oh, if it's not a Predator film, it's a good film. But the reality is, it is a Predator film, and it is, like, the editing bad, the music is, like, non-existent as far as I'm concerned. There's nothing redeemed about the music. The characters are all one-dimensional. You know, there's not one character in that film I was rooting for. You know, I didn't care for any of them. I just thought, yeah, I don't want the kid to die, but, you know, it's not like I was sitting there thinking, oh, holy shit, Arnie's in the mud. Is he going to get caught? Oh, I hope he doesn't die. You know what I mean? At least I cared a little bit for that. But with this film, I honestly, and I've normally give most films a good chance, and I'll always say effort gets you at least a good couple of points. But, I mean, you can stand there all day long and say, oh, I wanted it to be rated R, I wanted it to be like the originals, I wanted this, I wanted that. But that's not what we got on paper. And to pay money to see it, it just felt like a bit of a cop-out towards Predator fans. It felt like a bit of a... there's just nothing redeeming. I don't know anything I can say about it. The CGI shit. You know, there was no suspense in any of the film whatsoever. I mean, we've literally just spent the entire film, boys, and I don't think anybody said a single positive thing about it.
I mean, Matt Davies has never even bothered watching it, has he? So...
With this today. So I honestly have to, I mean, yeah, I just don't see a redeeming quality, so I have to go with 1 chopper. Sorry.
1 chopper, what about you, Mason? How many get to the choppers?
I would say, how many get the choppers? I would say 4 out of 10. I mean, it does try, but again, as I said, it's just stuck on a roundabout, and it keeps getting off, then back on the same roundabout. It's almost going nowhere. There's too many characters coming into it. You don't care enough. There's too many cliches thrown out. I mean, it's great that it's given like a strong woman's performance in it, and again, bringing the kid in. There's just too much going on there. It screams that it's been filmed in Canada. or really high at the border to save budget. You can just see that in the film. Special effects, again, it's just a bit. Again, you want it to have more, and like the ending, like what did we just watch at the ending? The death is very weak of the Predator. Like again, I said it before, the other Predator comes back, and it should have been a force of nature. Like, don't fuck with this thing, because it's been killed off too many times quickly in like Alien vs Predator and Alien vs Requiem. You know what I mean? This Predator should have came back, and it should have just been fucking badass. It should have wiped out nearly everybody. We didn't need another Predator. We've had another Predator in Predators, and we've had the Pred-Alien in Requiem. We didn't need another evolution. It's not Tremors. Do you know what I mean? It should have just been badass. It should have fell to Earth by accident, got discovered, broke out, went absolutely ballistic, wiped everyone out, and we should have been following that same Predator all the way through. The film was far too light. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think we needed the Pred Dogs as well, and we should have had either Adrian Brody or Arnold Schwarzenegger at the end, just as like for where this film exists in the Marvel kind of like, you know, everyone's expecting, like when a film gets rehashed, they're expecting a shout out, they're expecting a little cameo, a nod to the head. We didn't get that. We didn't get that because Danny Glover's fucking doing nothing. Schwarzenegger was back in the movies, you know what I mean? And it's just let that again. Shane Black's name on it as well. It's just there's too many baddies. Right, we go to see a Predator movie. The Predator gets killed. We've got a big Predator, and we've got the government again. And it's just, and it's not uber violent. Predator 2 is violent as fuck, and that's what I want to go and see when I see a movie. I don't want to see a kid trick or treating. Do you know what I mean? It's nothing wrong with it. Like, they're fair enough, the kids and all that, but. Again, it's just, it feels too much like it's filmed in a school, in a forest, back to a military base, and that's it. It's like a triangle of the same kinds of stuff, and it just keeps on going and going. Keeps on going and going and going. And going. Come in. Come in. I've got a special guest, guys, to say hi to me, Gran. I'm going to put her to bed.
Hi, Gran.
Hi, Gran.
You are Gran.
What do you call him?
No, well, we call him Paul Ray, the movie pop guy, and we call him Carl.
Paul and Carl. Oh, them are two nice names. I've got a Paul.
You guys keep talking, and I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, no worries.
I'll be back in 2
So
seconds.
what's your score then, Paul?
I'll give it 2. That's just being really kind.
Are you being kind, are you?
Yeah.
So, you know, that's what I'm laughing about, because that's what people's opinion are on the film. Like, see, Mason was really shocked that I gave it 1. He just spent the last 5 minutes telling me everything that I've just said, and he's agreeing with everything about it. So, like, don't get me wrong, I can agree that if he wants to give it a 4, but there's no redeeming quality. I don't
Because it's a franchise, though, isn't it? I'm only giving it 2 because Shane Black and I use the same for that score. That's it. But if we were doing a podcast watching it, I'll probably never watch it again.
Right, that there was a better cameo. That was a better cameo than Arnold Schwarzenegger. Having me 90-year-old Gran going, right, put us to bed. So,
Should have been your Gran in the Predator killer suit at the end.
Absolutely.
well, she came, I mean, to be honest with you, what's that?
Now, you're going to say Paul gave it 2.
Oh, my God. Well, again, I mean, it wanted so much more. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people, like, being very diverse about this, but again, the three of us all seen it at different times. I mean, even Jack's appearance. And I mean, Jack just doesn't want to waste time watching it again, which is kind of mental, because Jack loves Predator, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm just saying to Carl, if we would podcast, I would probably wouldn't watch it again. You know what I mean?
No, and that's
It's
it.
just nothing I want to. So when we watch again, just put the podcast, but for me, it's Shane Black supporting him. Thomas Jane, I forgot to mention him, and the Alan Silvestri score. That was the main 3 things that I enjoyed.
I would enjoy Thomas Jane in the lead role. Thomas Jane, you know, he could have had a bit of a comeback. He could have gone good as the Predator. Who's Thomas Jane? He's the fucking Punisher. Do you know what I mean? He's fucking badass in the Punisher, man.
Well, apparently Benicio del Toro was apparently in the talks of doing it as well, but he apparently couldn't do it for scheduling.
Well, again, though, he would have been too Adrian Brody. Like, he would have been like, What the fuck did you just say?
Yeah.
Give him subtitles, what?
But I feel like it felt like they settled with this guy though, because like I say, I've mentioned him. I've mentioned the fact that they have tried to get other people. Adrian Brody obviously wanted to get involved for whatever reason he didn't. So to me, I feel like this main guy is something that they settled for.
Well, that's it.
It clearly wasn't what they wanted in the beginning running of it, but then.
Mind you what Paul was saying, I'm just not interested in any of the characters apart from the Thomas Jane one. That was it. Just because I'm enjoying his acting. That's it.
I mean, some of them are quirky. Thomas Jane, I'll give credit to, absolutely. I think Thomas Jane was a great character, but I don't think. I mean, I don't know if you eliminate like 2 or 3. What do you call him? What do you call Alan? Alfie Allen. I actually really like him as an actor, and I can't remember what he did. I remember him on the bus. When did he die? Do we know?
Who died?
I literally can't.
The sniper?
Alfie Allen. Aye.
Nah, I couldn't tell you when he died. He just probably got blasted off with the fucking Psychon.
Yeah, he would have just been. I mean, even Sterling Brown. I mean, he got a really fast kind of. You know, you could blink and you miss a kind of death, but at the same time, it's like it almost like advertised that they didn't care about the character either. You know, it's like they didn't give them enough time on screen. Now, I don't need someone lying on the floor with the guts flowing out in. Look at me, I've just been shot. But
There's no
it didn't
jeopardy.
seem to, like, showcase. It didn't showcase any of the characters. I'm still talking about fucking Jesse Ventura and how he played a role in the first one, and that was like back in the 80s.
Well, that's it.
I remember some.
I mean, you can watch that movie.
5 minutes ago, and I can't remember what he did.
You can watch that movie back, and you'll go, "Oh well, like you know, the lass, the kid, and the guy's not going to die. There's no jeopardy of them."
Absolutely, yeah.
To be honest, like, if it was either Police Academy 7 or watch Predator again, I'll probably watch Police Academy 7 again. That's me
Police
saying
Academy
something.
7 might be getting awards compared to this one. You know what I mean?
It's a shame. Like I said, it's a shame. It's the fourth, obviously, in the continued story of the Predator, really. But it's just a shame because such a great franchise, millions of pounds worth of merchandise, and fools like us going to see it and watch it. It's just a bit of a letdown for fans, which is obviously not anyone's fault. It's probably just the studio just getting a bit, handsy with it. If Shane Black was left alone, probably could have did a proper like 18 certificate.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that.
I mean, too as well.
You've just referred to it as the fourth one, and other than them little snippets on the tablet at the beginning when they're in the lab, this does not feel like the fourth one. This feels like its own thing. I think the AVP films have that same issue as well.
Well, this, to be honest with you, you're right. This could technically exist in the AVP realm and not the original 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This could be, there's a Predator back, because like it doesn't like that. I mean, again, you got to look at the time as well, because at this time we had Prometheus out as well, so they could have just had a fucking wacky, wild run fun with this, but they just kind of were sorted about it, then just played it safe.
I see more of a spin-off. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's a spin-off to AVP. It's part of that. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
I was going to say, like, to be fair, that's the only saving grace for this film, is that it's so detached from the original, you could totally do a Predator 4 and literally turn around and say, oh yeah, the Predator is not part of that world. Because, you know what I mean? Sure, yes, other nerds will sit there and go, no, you mentioned it in the lab and stuff like that, but as far as I'm concerned, the everyday cinema goer, nah, they'll just end up watching the new potential 4 and just take it for what it is. You wouldn't have to recon, you wouldn't have to do anything. You just have to make a fresh film on its own, and people will forget about this one.
But how many people is going to think that this is an actual remake, again with a title?
Yeah, again, yeah.
You've got to remember, in Generation, you've seen The Predator. Again, talking about The Thing, and The Thing's being called The Thing, and it's like, well, it's an actual prequel. And this is an actual sequel, do you know what I mean? It's kind of like that little extra subtitle would go a long way.
Yeah. Well, I think Ghostbusters, then they changed Ghostbusters instead of called in them when it came out in thingy, so people didn't get confused. Just The Predator is just a stupid name. I mean, it's just a stupid name for it. They should just call it.
Like the fact that it throws the in front of it just so it's different. That you can't get any lazier in terms of title. But then again, what do you call it? Predator, something hybrid. You know what I mean, or something like that. I mean,
Predator Mayhems.
That's not actually terrible. Actually, I would have probably respected it a bit more if they called it Predator Hybrid. At least it would have made more sense towards the film.
Super Predator.
Well, like stuff like hunting season, it'd be corny, but you'd be like, all right, hunting each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or the hunt, Predator, the hunt. Just give it summit.
It's better than Predator the mating season.
Predator the Return. Predator the Return would have worked.
Yeah, Predator. I don't know. I don't know if I'd buy that one. I think that's a bit Predator the Return.
That's Superman Returns.
What about the Predator and the dog? Like the snowman and the dog?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
One.
The Predator and the Hound.
That's what it's called. But
The Predator and the dumbass humans. Just to set the bar. You're not expecting anything from these humans. They're just basically going to run after it. They're going to get killed, or they're going to somehow become 10 times smarter than the thing that they couldn't even potentially get close to the 95% of the film, and then kill at the end. Yeah. You know, again, the payoff was so much better with the first one because, you know, Arnie had the smart to go, okay, I can't go toe-to-toe with him. He's shortly going to kill me, so I'm going to have to think outside the box. And then you start thinking, well, hold on, he's clearly picking up heat detection. I'll rub myself in mud. I'll set up traps and stuff like that. You know, the fucking Macaulay Culkin style in the woods.
I would have totally cast Macaulay Culkin as one of them extras in the background. I'm just going to say though, for all it is, I believe there was only It's Just a Movie once in that.
It was.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, I mean, normally, I mean, don't get us wrong. Again, I just want to embrace people. Like, we love doing this and just sharing our thoughts, you know what I mean? A lot of people may disagree, but like, it was an interesting concept to do the fourth one and not the first three, do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, it was going to be that speed or Jaws 3.
True, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think it depends because this is what our kind of... I'm not like someone who dissects film, but I can do if it's in the right element. Like, I knew for a fact, signing up to watch this tonight with you guys, I'm not going to... I mean, I said at the beginning, I might end up finding some redeeming qualities now that I watch it again. I didn't, but at the end of the day, I feel like...
I can let it go. I can let it go now. I've let it out the bag. I can finally go, right, I don't need to watch that again.
Yeah, it done, and at the same time, though, I enjoy discussing film.
Yeah.
Even if they're bad, if they're good, if they're wacky, if they're fucking bizarre. Look at, I mean, last night, I mean, I know you weren't very heavily into it, Mason, but I mean, we spent about a good hour and a bit talking about, like, censorship on films and, you know, how Disney, like, wouldn't even mention the word Songs of the South, and I love discussing, like, the element of what they represent, because you should be able to discuss a film, you should be able to discuss the negativity. I don't feel like blanking something out and pretend it didn't exist really helps anything. I just feel like it just kind of demonizes it, whereas I feel like, you know, there's a lot of stuff to be said about some films in the past that are terrible, but we should always be able to talk about it and discuss it. You might say a different point of view by doing it, so...
From a certain point of view.
Yeah, well, it is. I mean, it's true, you know. I feel like watching this with you, it kind of... I've heard things that you said that I never thought. Now, not like, at first, I haven't helped the film in what it is, but it's interesting. I'm fascinated. I love watching a scene and thinking one thing and then having you watch the exact same thing and go, no, it is.
Yeah.
That was a completely different point of view. I love that.
That's what I really like the podcast, yeah. Well, this has been the podcast of Predator. What's next?
Well, you know... Well, you know, I did give you a list. I don't know if you saw it earlier on, Mason. I know you've been at work. But, you know, said that I don't know if you fancy doing... Sorry, I'm flicking through to see...
10 Commandments.
10 Commandments, yeah, absolutely.
It's
but, you know,
classic.
I love the idea of doing Stand By Me. Lethal Weapon, we could do as a series down the line, or, you know, I've mentioned Mad Max. I think there's going to be a lot of talk.
And stuff, haven't we?
Yeah, Jurassic Park. I love that. Well, we're going to be talking about Bill and Ted shortly, so I figured why not try and squeeze in a Bill and Ted one. One that I did put at the end, which I didn't know how you feel about, is The Outsiders. It's one of my favourite films, but it's literally just jam-packed with, like, actors.
Oh, is that Tom Cruise and...
you know, got Emilio Estevez, Tom Cruise, Patrick Swayze, Rob Lowe. You know, it's got all these major actors well before the time, but at the same time, it's also a really, really good film as well. It's one of my favourites. So, you know, there's a list of stuff I would like to do, but, you know, me, I've said from day one, I'm happy to watch whatever you just want to watch, really, because...
well, Waterworld's definitely on the cards, because we need to do that. We need to get Matt back as well, for whatever, on that one. Was Matt going to do Waterworld?
He definitely seemed up for it, so it might be one of his 12 Blu-rays.
Come on.
I'm assuming that was a joke. I'm assuming he's got more than 12 Blu-rays.
Well, there's one movie I definitely want to do a podcast for, and it's a movie called Red Hill as well, so that's something to can throw on there, but we'll have a think and we'll get one recorded. We'll just try and get as much done as possible before you guys get back to work, fuckers.
Well, I'm looking at probably mid-July. We're looking to open again at the end of July, so between training and setting things up, I should be back to work by mid-July, but at the same time, there's no word yet.
No, that's good. Right, well, this has been the podcast. I need to go and cook some tea and get back up for work tomorrow. While you guys, I don't want to even think about what Paul Ray's going to get up to. But yeah, I've been Steve Monkey Mason. This has been Paul Ray.
Bye.
Carl.
Ciao for now.
Hopefully my grand's asleep by now. And a nice little cameo by Mr. Jack. And unfortunately no Matt Davies, because he hasn't watched the fucking film.